Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joys of Code. Today, we are building your personal tech radar. This is a super powerful strategy to help you stay ahead in the wild, fast-moving world of data engineering. It's all about helping you stop feeling overwhelmed and, start actually taking control of your career.
So let me ask you this. Does it ever feel like every single time you open up Twitter or LinkedIn, there's a brand new data tool, some new framework, or a new best practice that you're just supposed to know? One minute, everyone's talking about Delta Lake. The next, it's all Apache Iceberg. If you've ever felt that pressure, trust me, you are not alone.
And look, this isn't just about feeling stressed out. It has real-world consequences, right? Your data pipelines start to feel brittle, your cloud costs are slowly creeping up, and it feels like you're just constantly putting out fires. So let's make this real. We're going to follow a fictional food delivery company I'm calling Hungry Now. They are facing these exact challenges, and we're going to see how they completely turn things around.
Okay, so how do you get out of that reactive chaos and into a more proactive, strategic mode? Well, the answer is to build your very own tech radar, and we're going to power it with a really systematic approach that I've found to be a total game changer, and it's called K29. Seriously, think of this as your secret weapon for navigating all this change with confidence.
So what on earth is K29? Well, think of it as your own personal R&D, research and development strategy. And here's the key. It's not about trying to learn every single new tool out there. No way. It's a framework that helps you stay on top of trends, systematically evaluate new tech like Apache Iceberg or DBT, and figure out exactly when and how to bring them into your work.
And the best part? This is not just some high-level theory. It's a super practical, repeatable, 6-step playbook that you can literally start using today. So let's break down each step, and you'll see how you can build your own personal innovation engine.
At its heart, the K29 framework is really just a continuous loop with 6 stages. It's simple. You start by scanning what's out there. Then you evaluate what you find. You experiment with the most promising ideas. Then you share your wins. You adopt what actually works. And finally, this is crucial, you measure the impact. This cycle, this is what's going to keep you on the cutting edge.
All right, step 1, scan. You need good signals, good inputs. For me, that means things like subscribing to newsletters, Data Engineering Weekly is a must, hanging out in communities like the DBT Slack, and yeah, keeping an eye on the big vendor blogs and key GitHub releases. But listen, the goal here is not to boil the ocean. You're just trying to shortlist maybe 2 or 3 promising ideas each month to dig into. That's it. Totally manageable.
And actually, on that note, I'm really curious. What's on your radar right now? Go ahead and pause for just a second and drop a comment below with one new tool or piece of tech that you're exploring. I would love to see what our community is tinkering with.
Okay, once you have that short list, it's time for step 2, evaluate. This is where you move past the hype and your gut feelings. You use a simple rubric, like a scorecard, to rate each idea on things that actually matter. Does it fit the business? How complex is it? What about security, cost? This objective process helps you decide what to do next. Adopt, trial, watch, or just avoid.
Now we get to the fun part. Step 3 is experiment. Let's go back to our friends at Hungry Now. Their cron jobs for orchestration were a nightmare. Always failing, no retries, zero visibility, just a total headache. So they ran a small focused proof of concept. They didn't try to migrate everything at once. Nope. They just moved 2 critical workflows over to Airflow, added some automatic retries and Slack alerts, and proved the value almost immediately. The key is to keep it small and keep it reversible.
A successful experiment is awesome, for sure, but its value just multiplies when you get to step 4, share and standardize. This is how your individual learning becomes a team superpower. You can document what you found on a shared tech radar page in Notion or Confluence. Do a quick 15-minute demo for your team. And even better, if you can, publish templates, like a cookie cutter for new Airflow DAGs, to make it crazy easy for everybody else to adopt the new best practice.
Okay, you've got team buy-in, you're ready for step 5, adopt. But, and this is a big but, you have to adopt safely. Use the proven practices from software engineering. Roll out your changes using things like Canary or Blue-Green deployments. But automated data quality checks right into your CI/CD pipeline, and always have a crystal clear rollback plan and monitoring dashboards ready to go before you flip the switch.
And finally, we get to step 6, measure the impact. This is how you prove that all your hard work was worth it. You need to track clear, numbers-based metrics. Did you hit your pipeline freshness goals, your SLOs? Did your mean time to recovery, that's MTTR, go down after a failure? Did your data test pass rates go up? These numbers, This is the hard evidence that turns a cool little project into a massive, career-defining win.
And that evidence, it leads directly to the payoff. Because this whole process isn't just about building better pipelines, it's about building your career. So let's look at how those small experiments at Hungry Now turn into huge portfolio-worthy wins.
First up, remember their issue with late-arriving data making things slow and expensive? Well, by running that small experiment with Delta Lake, they made their pipeline way more efficient. The result? They cut their daily compute costs by a staggering 42%. I mean, come on, a number like that on your performance review, that gets noticed.
Next, they had this nagging problem of schema changes from their partners breaking things silently. So they introduced great expectations into their CI/CD pipeline. What happened? They started catching data quality errors before they could ever hit production. This pushed their data test pass rate up to a rock-solid 97%.
And finally, that brittle old cron job. After that successful Airflow proof of concept, their recovery time after something failed just plummeted. But maybe more importantly, the number of late-night PagerDuty alerts dropped by 60%. And that's not just a metric, right? That's a huge improvement in the team's quality of life.
And here it is. This is how you talk about these wins. This sentence you see on the screen, you can basically copy and paste this structure for your resume, your portfolio, or your next performance review. It's perfect. It clearly states the process you run, the specific actions you took, and the incredible, quantified results you delivered.
And to back all of that up, you'll have the receipts. You'll have a trail of evidence. A screenshot of your Tech Radar page, a link to your proof of concept pull request, a simple architecture decision record, an ADR, which just documents why you made a choice, and of course, those beautiful before and after dashboards. This is how you prove your impact beyond any shadow of a doubt. So it really all comes back to this simple but incredibly powerful formula. You scan for new ideas, evaluate them with a system, run small, safe experiments, share what you learn, adopt what works safely, and measure your impact. This cycle is your key to future-proofing your entire data career.
Which brings us to the end. And so my final question for you is this. When you think about your work right now, what's the first small, safe-to-fail experiment that you are going to run? What's one little thing you can test that might just make a real difference?
Hey, if you found this framework useful, do me a favor and hit that like button. And definitely subscribe to Joys of Code for more explainers just like this one. And please, share that first experiment idea in the comments below. I genuinely love to read them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.